In this special limited series, I'm taking you behind the curtain of the 2025 Bendigo Business Excellence Awards. Join me as I spotlight the winners of each category and discover what makes them truly exceptional.
A.L. Parker Electrical.
Adam Parker is the owner of A.L. Parker Electrical, and they have taken out the Customer Focused Award. Adam, thanks so much for joining me in the studio.
No worries. Thanks for having me, Caleb.
It's very cool to have you here because one of the great things about the awards process and Bendigo is that there's so many amazing businesses locally, let alone, go out a little bit further, but so many locally that I've actually never met, and we've never met before. So this is really cool. I'm getting introduced to a remarkable business for the first time. What I want to know, though, let's start with A.L. Parker Electrical. Tell me what is your business all about?
Yeah, well, hopefully it speaks for itself a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you're electricians.
Electricians, yep, it's after my name. But yeah, we're a team of 10, sort of a smaller family business that service all parts of the electrical industry, new homes, rental, sort of maintenance, a little bit of commercial, bit of everything really. We've done a little bit of solar.
Yep.
Trying to move into that renewable space a bit more as well.
Yep.
So ever evolving as it does. But yeah, that's who we are. We've been around for about 10 years and yeah.
Nice. 10 years. So 10 employees after 10 years. How has the business journey been so far?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. We built slowly from when I started, just slowly growing each year. Through COVID, for our industry and the construction, it actually got a lot busier where others went backwards. And then we built up a bit, got to about 14 or so. And then after that, there was a bit of a pullback with interest rates, cost of living and things like that.
Yeah.
So we had to downsize a little bit down to our current 10.
Yep.
And I think things maybe are just starting to come back a bit, which is pleasing to see, yeah.
Yeah, it is, man. It sounds like you followed a very similar journey to mine, or in the industry anyway, in video production. Like during COVID, like no one could meet, face to face. It just exploded, right? But then, as you say, the interest rate rise, that just hit like business spending and consumer spending, just crazy. But we're kind of getting on the way out of that now. Are you feeling like there's a bit of recovery in the electrical kind of space?
Yeah, absolutely. I think particularly on the new home. So the new homes really slowed down a lot.
Yeah.
Beginning sort of probably midway to the start of last year.
Yep.
Because it was not only the interest rates, but then the cost of living.
Yep.
And there's been a bit of wage increase, which I think that's helped too. I think people's wages have slowly improved a little bit in the last 12 months.
Yeah.
So there's a few factors there, but it definitely is on the way up. We're still not out of the woods, and people are feeling the cost of living, but at least the interest rates have come back a little bit.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of positivity out there. So yeah.
So tell me, A.L. Parker, like what is it, where does it sit in the wider industry? Like what level of competition is out there for electricians, and how do you set yourself apart?
Yeah, that's a great question. There's a lot in Bendigo. There's a lot of competition in all trades, not just electrical, but definitely in electrical.
Yes.
Plumbing, all of them.
Yes.
And so setting ourselves apart, it's a great question. And the thing that I think sets us apart is partly what the award that we won, which is the customer focus. Nice. But it's so customer service, but it's also our team culture and things like that. There's a bit of toxic sort of stuff out there in the trades world. And I've tried to do my best to bring my hospitality background, where I started originally, into the trades world essentially, and create good culture within our team. Yeah. And if people are happier and things like that, it tends to, transpose into the customers as well. It's
big time. Tell me, hospitality. How did you get into electricianing?
Yeah, well, back in secondary school, I had an interest in both things, and at the time, I had no connections, and it was hard to get an apprenticeship, and a lot easier to get in hospitality, I suppose. I was lucky enough to work with some incredible people that mentored me in customer service and put that at the forefront, and I learned from that with their work ethic, and so I really had all that sort of stuff instilled into me.
Wow.
And then it got to a point where through the hospitality, I met people. I got to a point after about 12 years or so that I think I've had enough of this now. I need, as good as my employers are, and it's time to try something else. And those opportunities arose from there, became a mature age apprentice, did my time, and then started my own business and tried to bring all those things that I'd learnt through to that world. So
I love that, because one of the pitfalls of the trades industries is customer service. And so it's pretty special that you, as a trade business, have taken out the customer focused award at a Business Excellence Awards. You're not just up against other trade businesses, you're up against a whole heap of other great businesses.
yeah, absolutely. Then in fact, although we're up for the construction one as well, it almost meant more to me because, as you say, it's not just in our industry. So to win that overall was really, really satisfying and, and good for the team, because I bang on about it a lot to the other guys who haven't come from my background, and for them to see it being recognised was pretty special. Yeah.
Look, good customer experience is a real bone to pick with. I have a few tradie mates, and I say the bar is so low, guys. Like, there's a lot you can do to if you just have a really good client experience. The small things, right? Like, you're reliable. You do what you say you're going to do. You're going to be somewhere when you say you're going to be there, or you get to tell them you're not gonna get there, those small
communication
things. Communication.
Yep.
Well, tell me about the customer experience that you give that kind of sets you apart.
Yeah, and that's a great question. And I think what sets us apart is it's right from the first phone call. We have an office admin team, including myself. So we take the calls. If we don't take the calls, we return them pretty promptly. We use a program called ServiceMate, which then when we book them in, they get a confirmation text straight away saying that they're booked in. So it's reassuring. Yeah. Then the day before, they get a reminder, don't forget, we're coming tomorrow. Then they get one from the guys when they're literally on their way. And as you say, if they're running late or whatever, they can send them a text, say, sorry, I'm just running late. So all of that. And then the follow-up after the job's done with the invoice and certificate and all the rest of it. So you need all of those elements strong, but particularly the lead up to it. And if you're running late and all that, just communicating. People understand, but if you don't tell them,
very annoying.
It is very annoying. I've heard that. Everyone said that to me right from the start, and I thought there's a market here for me to just do what I think's like normal. And it is unfortunately that our industry, the bar is a bit low, but I think it is improving, but there's still a lot of work to be done. So,
that's where companies like ServiceMate have really come into their own, right? I see a few, and across the trade, like it was even, what was the last one? Like in air conditioning and things, it's using that platform, and I can tell whoever's using it, I'm like, these guys have got a good process going on, because I know that they're communicating well and they're focusing in, they're actually investing energy and resource into doing that well. So good on you, whoever started ServiceMate.
There's a few of those sort of programs, but you need to have one of those things. I think even if you're a one-man band, I think if I was just starting out, I'd say to someone, hey, just go and get it.
It'd be even more essential if you're on your own, right? Because you don't have the administration team to help fill the gaps and back you up.
Yep.
Wow. So how long did it take you to kind of make that leap into building the team? And as a trade business, what did you focus on first in terms of skills required? Like who were some of your first hires and why?
Yeah, great question. I think initially it was just literally me by myself. So I just needed someone, a bit of a hand. Some jobs, it just makes it a lot easier when you've got a second set of hands. So that was the first thing, just to literally make my day run a bit easier.
Yep.
And probably the first couple was an apprentice and then an A grade to help with that.
Yeah.
Then it became, I need a bit of admin assistance. So, had a lady come on part-time who's been still with me today, actually, works from home and things. But so the admin help, and then it was just, as you say, that, who can I get? What do I lack in a little bit maybe, and what skills? So someone who knows more about solar or industrial or those types of areas. But ultimately, we mainly look for people that would fit the same values, and you know what I mean? Because if we're going to hold up service and quality, because quality workmanship as well as our slogan, that became the ultra important thing, to be honest with you. Like as much as their skills, they also needed to fit that sort of mantra. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So I'd honestly say that was probably the thing that I've looked for the most, of the right person. Is that person a good fit for our business and the vision and the direction? So
tell me about that vision and direction. You would have had to put that on the application for these awards. Where are you going?
Yeah, well, look, we're just trying to be a business as well, innovative, like moving with the times, because obviously things are changing all the time, but in a way that's providing top level service and quality. So above all, it's great service and quality products, but also the service, the work that we actually do, but also that we're constantly upskilling and learning about the new things coming along. And there's been so many advances in technology. So we just got to constantly keep learning about it and going to conferences, upskilling the guys that we do have. So we don't always have to employ someone else. It's just a matter of maybe running the guys through some certain training courses and things like that. So we're just trying to make sure that we're at the cutting edge of what's going on, I suppose.
Love it.
Yeah.
What about from a team culture perspective? You mentioned that earlier. Like, how do you ensure that your team feel like they're valued, they want to come to work?
Well, a bit like the customers, it's communication. So we make sure we sit down, do formal, we call them performance reviews, but it's a two-way feedback. I want to hear from them of what do they suggest that we can do to be better? What can I personally do for them? Flexibility. We've been big on the guys that have had kids, doing 4-day weeks or flexible hours. Just trying to make sure that they're getting a good experience too in their lives, and they're getting the flexible and balance in their life that I want to have. And that just, no bullying, just all the positive stuff, making that, instilling that in the guys.
Yeah. No, I love it. Sounds like you're leading from the front there. That's good.
Trying.
Yeah. No, I love the approach, and it's a real superpower actually, having come from a hospitality background into a trade business. Like that's genius. That was a good move.
It's not something that probably not overly common, I suppose, but in some ways I say to people, I reckon everyone should have a stint in hospitality. Just it's good for you, learn, empathy, listening to people, because ultimately there's a lot of problems. I like to think of ourselves as problem solvers. So people ring up, they've got a problem, we're trying to fix it. Like hospitality, I'm not happy with this meal. What can I do? And we're sort of in any business, a lot of the time, that's what you're trying to do. Keep customers happy and problem solve their issues. So
you cannot get away from problems. You're always going to have them. And the businesses that stand out are the ones who know how to solve them well. I see that all the time on great businesses that I get to interview on these podcasts, that many of them lean into how the awareness that we're going to have problems to start with. There are going to be problems, but we can improve the quality of the experience that a customer gets by solving the problem really well. That stands out like a mile more, and it's even more memorable, right, than if you've had a smooth experience where nothing happened. That's good, that's ideal, but if you can solve a problem really well, you become a superstar.
Yeah, I'd 100% agree with that. We had that exact same conversation the other day because something went wrong. One of our guys made a mistake, and I said, no, this is good. Not actually good, but let's own it. Let's ring up. Don't try to get out of it. Don't make excuses. Don't try to blame someone else. It's like, we made a mistake. We're really sorry. And this is what we want to do to resolve it. What do you think? And honestly, I think that's the biggest test of a business. It's easy when it's easy. Like when things are going well, you look like a hero. But as you say, sometimes I think you can still keep a customer even when you made a mistake, as long as you take responsibility for it and resolve it for them.
Yeah. And I think there's something in that calls to people, right? Because we as humans all make mistakes, all of us. And there's just a huge amount of respect and thankfulness that someone can have when they're interacting with someone who's doing that well, who's making mistakes well, failing well. I think there's something in us that, that goes, I want to be able to do that too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty cool. Let's move into the business awards process. Tell me about the category that you won, customer focus. What does that really mean to you? We've spoken a lot about the customer service and things, but what did it feel like to you to be nominated for that category?
Yeah, look, it's a bit of a pump up when you get the email saying you've been nominated. As I said, we had the 2 categories, but focusing on the one that we won, especially when it's a category that's important to you or a value that you hold high. So that's sort of like, wow, it's good to know that what we value is other people are seeing that we're doing that well.
Yeah.
So
and why did you decide to follow through with an application?
Mainly because I wanted the recognition for the team to see, because I knew it's a bit of work in going through it all,
Mm,
but I thought if we could get recognition for this, for the guys to see
mm,
what this means, I really wanted it for them, because it's not just me.
yeah.
It's about everyone in the team. So
Yep.
yeah,
No, that's cool. And did you include any of them in the application process? What did that look like?
yeah. So we did. It was one of the previous times we'd sat down and literally had everyone at a big table, and we literally had all the questions and said, "Well, why do you think Park Electrical?" We asked them the exact questions and wrote down everyone's feedback
Yeah.
because we were interested, and it
Mm.
was actually a really fun experience and got everyone thinking about it, and it was nice to hear some stuff that I didn't necessarily know their
Love that.
thoughts on, and it was actually a really good experience doing that.
Love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I reflecting on the process I went through, I reckon I could have done that a little bit better. Actually, brought the team around me, right, and said, because it's a pretty daunting process if you take it all on yourself.
Mm.
There's some deep questions. There's a lot of thinking that you have to do. You're like, oh man, rack my brain. Even if you've got a few of those things written down somewhere or you've thought about them before, it's just a continual kind of it's a bit of a stretch, right, of the old noggin to get it all out on paper.
Yeah, and it's good to hear the reoccurring themes. So a
Mm.
lot of people keep repeating the same thing. Okay, this is obviously the areas of our strength, and that's that
Yeah.
culture of feeling listened to, even internally, but not as well as the customers. And that's where we got that point about having a great culture, because I was hoping that I was providing a good culture.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than hearing your own people just telling you that we do feel listened to, we do feel appreciated, you do try to make our lives a bit better.
Mm.
That was pretty satisfying from my point of view.
Yeah, too right.
Yeah.
So, do you regularly do that kind of full team kind of think sessions, or was this a bit of a catalyst for doing that?
Yeah, I think it probably would have been because we were nominated a few years ago as well.
Mm.
So that became a thing that, hey, we should do this. This has been good to hear this feedback.
Yep.
So on a probably lesser scale, more regularly, and even in a smaller team situation. But yeah, very, very useful actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's the response? Tell me about the moment when they called your name out.
It was a little surreal. We went there thinking, oh, it's been great to be nominated, great to be a finalist. We're not going to come and beat Gert and Grammar and all these other ones that we respect, great businesses. So it was I was in shock for starters, and it was a real, it's a bit funny, but yeah, I felt like, was it the Logies or something, the way it was all done? Because it was a fantastic night, by the way.
It was.
Our first time going, and it was very impressive.
Yeah.
But just overwhelming pride, and it was great to have some of our employees there to come up as well onto stage, and it was just we were just chuffed. Yeah, it was great.
And what about since the night, since winning the award, what's the impact on business, impact on the team been?
Yeah, look, I think it was been great for reconfirming what we're doing, that we're doing good things well, and the way we want to do it. It's opened up a few opportunities for me. Like, I know Hayley invited me to the business roundtable. We had Jacinta Allen last week, and here I am telling her about some issues we had, and I'm like, that wouldn't have happened had I not gone through all this. That opportunity would not have been there.
Yeah.
So there's been lots of little things, and one thing leads to another. Networking events.
Yep.
Next thing you run into someone, and they're like, "Oh, we should catch up," and it just snowballs from there. And I've really enjoyed that aspect of it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool the amount of businesses, I said right at the start, the amount of businesses that you don't necessarily know exist or you've never met. It's a great way to meet. Like, because all of the finalists and all the businesses there have been confirmed by a panel of judges that they're pretty great.
Yeah.
And so you're surrounded. Like, how many times in the year or in your life can you say, I'm in a room full of 20 categories times 3 to 4, finalists per category, that many businesses that are all doing really great things.
Yeah, it is rare, absolutely. Like, I think there was 750 people at Red Energy Arena. It was an amazing night, and given the amount of people, it ran so well. But you're right. I kept running into, g'day, whoever, Simon Rosa, or had so many connections with people you knew. But then, as you say, more as excitingly is the ones you don't know.
Yeah,
like the people that are doing our website for us.
Yes.
We're like, and they've just been amazing because we wouldn't have met them, wouldn't have known about them. So Yeah, I've loved that. I really have loved that side of
Yep.
it.
Give a shout out to the legendary KH team.
Yep, there we
Yeah,
go.
they're excellent. And you met them through the business excellence process, right?
Yeah, so when we had to go in for our face-to-face presentation,
Yeah.
and I was sitting across, I said, "Oh, I think that's the girls from the KH studio," and we're like, "We should get them to have a look in the new website," and then we met them, and they were amazing,
Yeah, they are
and we're like,
amazing.
"Why wouldn't you want to use someone who's potentially award-winning?" Well, they are, so
Yeah, they are.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's been great.
I love it. So cool. Do you have your little bit of perspex sitting at the office or somewhere, or is it tucked away in a drawer somewhere?
The actual award, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's on the shelf up. We've got it next to our certificates.
Yeah, great.
It's up there, and when we do our toolbox meetings, when we're talking about things to do with customer service, which is most times,
Yeah.
I keep pointing up there and go, because we want to keep
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah.
So it's been great to reference that, and
Yeah.
we're proudly putting the little banner on the bottom of our emails of, award-winning, customer focused. I think
Nice.
who doesn't want to deal with someone who puts the customer first? I mean,
Yeah.
we all want customer service, don't we?
Yeah, big time. Adam, mate, thanks so much for spending some time with me. We've only talked about a slice of your business, but from what I can tell, the experience you've had in winning the Customer Focus Award is very well deserved. And mate, I can't wait to experience the AL Parker Electrical customer experience for myself one day.
Yeah, we'd be happy to help you out. And yeah, thanks for the opportunity.
Hey, thanks so much for tuning into this episode as part of the limited series Team Up with Bendigo and Hebron Films, featuring the winners of the 2025 Business Excellence Awards. There are 13 episodes in total in this mini-series, so if you're at all curious about the other award recipients, then head over and check them out. We also have a new episode of Remarkable Regional Business dropping every fortnight, so please follow us wherever you get your podcasts. And finally, if you know someone who has or runs a great regionally based business and has a remarkable story to tell, then I would love to get them into the studio and tell it. You can dob them in at hebronfilms.com/podcast.